We get asked all the time, can you coat over tile? The answer is absolutely yes. We have the industry leading products to coat over any surface. And today, we're coating over tile. This is by far the most efficient way to coat over a tile floor. All right, so check it out. We're on a local project coming in to help a local church. They wanted to do our flake system over their tile floor. They thought they had to remove the tile. They called us. We kind of talked through the process, came, checked it out, said, no, you guys can go right over the tile. So we're gonna kind of show you guys a process, cool process, how to go over tile flooring without removing it. And so whenever you're going over tile, you want to grind the floor to scuff it up, right? To get it so it's a porous tile, so our products can soak in to that tile and basically become one surface. This was this floor after they grinded. So you can see all the white spots are where the grinder buzzed through that smooth layer. And I told them to hit it even better in the low spots, right? Like that tile right there, that's a really good grinded tile. Right? You can have a little bit of some smooth stuff shown, but the better you grind it, the more porous you get it, the better our coatings are gonna stick to that. So then they took this for the grout lines, because a lot of times the grout's been sealed. So they ran this through all the grout lines to kind of scuff those up. And then the cool thing about this process is you can either prime it like they did, so they put our primer over it, or you can do epoxy directly over it. So what we're gonna do today is basically flood coat this floor, right? This is the easiest way to get a level floor, fill in those grout lines. We always like to just flood coat the floor with resin. It's self-leveling, it's gonna flow out, it's gonna level everything out. We're kind of just getting things dialed in. We got the drains here. So what I'm doing right now is I have to weather strip this drain, because obviously we don't want resin to just flow down in this drain. So I put weather stripping. We use that a lot to block off resin. Trey's out there getting the mixing station set up, and then we'll be ready to start applying this flood coat. All right, so Trey's gonna be our mixer today. He's gonna be doing our 3P2 process, which we highly recommend. What he's gonna do, he's gonna add the part B. He's gonna add the pigments, right? Because we're gonna pigment this to one of the colors that's in the flakes. All right, so this is what 3P2 looks like. He'll start, once everything's in there, he's gonna spin the drill, right, all the way to the bottom, go around once or twice, come back up. Once he hits the top of the resin, obviously he wants to slow the speed down, but he's gonna go around once or twice. That stands for 1. He's gonna do that 3 times. And then the letter P stands for pour into the secondary mixing container. And then he's gonna go up and down 2 more times, and that's gonna thoroughly mix the resin. He's able to do it fast, and we don't have to worry about, you know, unmixed resin in there or any soft spots on the floor. Most thorough way to mix resin is doing this process. All right, so once we mix the product, main thing is dump it all out of the bucket, right? We don't leave any in the bucket. It's gonna heat up faster if we leave it in the bucket. We got 9 gallons, 200 and, what was this, square feet? Remember?
55.
255 square feet. So we're gonna see how far this 3-gallon kit goes. We might not need 9 gallons, but if we do, we'll know probably after this first one. So Trey's just gonna dump this. So we're gonna be using our Leggari notch squeegee. And then when I'm spreading it, just try not to push a bunch of product under the wall, right? Okay. Like you can get it close. You know what I'm saying? Just try to be real light. I would just spread it out and see how far that gets us. And then the next thing is make sure you always want to try to map out your projects to be able to coat over the previous coating you did the next day. If you wait longer than 24 hours, 36 hours, right, you get into 2 days, you probably need to sand the whole surface because it's going to be a really hard sealed surface. The next coat's not going to want to stick to it. All right, so that's kind of the process. So again, we're using our not squeegee, right? Why? Because it leaves product behind at 45 square foot a gallon, and then also helps fill in the grout lines. And then I had Peter go back and push some product to some of the spots that were really uneven out there. You can kind of fine tune. Some spots will lay out good, a little thinner resin. Some spots will require a little bit more resin there to level everything out. And so he went back, pulled some resin to those spots. And then tomorrow, if we have any high spots, we'll just grind those real quick and we're basically ready for the coat. But a lot faster process than removing tile. And again, you still have to grind after removing the tile. So this is by far the most efficient way to coat over a tile floor. 255 square feet, so 255 divided by 9 gallons. So we got 28 square feet per gallon. Now that obviously isn't the perfect amount for every floor because sometimes you have wider grout lines, maybe they weren't filled up as much. Maybe you have thinner grout lines, maybe they're filled up flush, you don't need as much. But it's always good to have extra on hand in case you need to mix another kit or you're like, hey, I did the first section, it's not covering good, let's add a little more there. Always have enough, but we did this at 28 square foot per gallon. All right, so last thing Peter's gonna do is he's gonna mist the floor with denatured alcohol, and that'll pop all the bubbles. So this is what I do. I'll just shoot down on the floor and just hit the whole thing real quick. Sweet. So we're gonna walk around. They've done a lot of stuff. We actually did another project here for them, but they've done a lot of stuff themselves. And so here's here's the other bathroom they did. So this is the same floor we're gonna do in there. And they didn't know that they could go over tile. So what they did is they ripped up the tile in here and it was just a pain in the butt, they said. So they were pretty stoked when I told them they could go right over the tile over there, but turned out beautiful, super old building. They got new stalls. They're actually coating the countertops. We'll kind of go out there. I think she just got done staining it. Oh, this is cool. So the concrete overlay right over Formica. Just stained it. They're gonna top coat it with the urethane. Got new sinks going in, so it's gonna look good in the bathroom. And then we'll head out the front here. We're going rogue here. James is doing the best he can with the lighting. They coated these tables, flood coated them with our epoxy. This guy too. They do a lot of cool stuff here. We'll go check out the room that we did the hardwood kit in. Very, very cool. So you guys probably remember this project. Old nasty concrete, shot blasted, did our hardwood kit. Gray grout lines, we did brown overlay, hardwood kit, stained it black. And then I think we did the gloss. We did our glossy urethane on this. And then obviously you got the trim up, right? Everything's kind of put back together. And then they redid all the furniture in here, which you guys didn't see when we launched the video, but tell me this ain't cool. Green couches, the brown chairs, they got stuff all over the walls. And then they also did all these tables too. Super cool. This literally looks like polished concrete. I have to find out how they did that, but really cool look and flood coated in epoxy. But yeah, big change from the final footage we got from versus now, right? These couches, the rugs, the new tables, got this cool wall art that they did themselves to kind of tie everything in. Very, very cool. But yeah, hardwood kits, gotta love them. And you can do different size planks, whatever pattern you want. We got multiple color options. You can do black grout lines, and they're just stupid durable, extremely durable flooring option. And again, we could do that in that bathroom we just flood coated. Right over the epoxy, we just have to sand that, scuff it up. Yeah, I'll take one. All right, so we're on the next day. And then since it's the next day, like I was saying yesterday, we don't have to sand the whole floor because the resin's still setting up. We're gonna get a good bond over this. We will wanna clean it really well. And that's with anything. Anytime you prep, anytime you grind, always clean the surface really good because the dust, debris will be like a bond breaker between coatings. And so a lot of these leveled out, like in this room's really good, but there is a few tiles that they could have grinded a little better. And what I like to do is you can just run like your hand across as you're grinding and you'll feel the high spots. Like if we come over here, you can see the primer, right? That's a high spot. Trey's just taping the high spots. Right here's a high spot. And so obviously the flake floors are real forgiving as far as hiding imperfections, but if we were like gonna do a metallic epoxy over this, we would wanna make sure it's perfectly smooth and flat everywhere. But again, flakes are awesome. They cover a lot of imperfections. And so Trey's gonna just use the same grinder they used to grind the tiles. He's gonna hit some of these high spots, feather those out a little bit, and then this is pretty much ready to flake. So yeah, simple process, guys. Grind the tiles, flood coat. Again, they prime this. I recommend grinding the tiles, flood coating directly over it. Don't prime it. Resin's gonna soak in a lot deeper than the primer, and then basically do whatever system you want. So we're gonna get to coating. We'll just film this. It ain't gonna take long, it's real fast. He's gonna mix that 1.5 gallons. We're gonna pour beads out all over the floor, spread it out with our squeegee, roll it real quick, make sure everything's hit all of our edges, and then we're gonna throw the flake into it. Back the next day, they have already cleaned up the flakes. They scraped the floor with a metal scraper, which I think Trey brand. Let me grab that, James. Just a metal scraper. You can get these on poles, right? So you're not doing it on your hands. Basically ran both directions, scraping the whole floor. That'll knock down any flakes that are sticking up. And then we like to just sweep it, push it into a pile, a corner, pick like 90% up as much as you can, and then we vacuum the rest. And then I always like to blow the projects out, right, to get all the remaining flakes out. And then we're basically ready to apply the next coat of epoxy. And this floor turned out phenomenal. It literally looks like we went over a concrete surface. You would never know there's tile under this floor, and that's why that process we just showed you, how to coat over tile, is such a cool process, because saves you a lot of time in demo. And again, you're grinding concrete anyway, so you're gonna grind the tile, so you're really not losing anything there. And then again, you can also do a decorative metallic epoxy over the floor as well. So a lot of options going over tile, and all the prep's the same.
Boop, boop.